I know what the God in me will do. You must understand what the God in you will do. I trust in God. I need you to make this personal. I trust in God. It's the power that's within you. It's the love of God that's within you. It's the love of God that's where? In you. I trust where? In God. I want you to make that personal. In, meaning that in me is the fullness of life. In me is the ability to overcome everything or anything that comes my way. In me is the strength that causes mountains to move when I speak, because I am the power of God in the earth. You're chosen for such a time as this. How do I know this? Because what time are you in? You're in the time right now. You're set apart for such a time as this. How do I know this? Because you're in this time right now. Where's your strength? It's within you. It's impossible to please God if you don't believe that God is already where? In you. And you're where? In God. How do I know you're in God? Because you're here. Whether you understand it or not, you're still in God. Whether you know the scriptures or not, you're still in God because before the scriptures were, God always is. Before scriptures ever came about and able to be printed or written, God always is, and he was always in his environment. He created the space. Sometimes we just mess up when we get a mind. Because then we begin to try to think, or wait, God, or think God over there, or think God here, rather than thinking God is always where? In us. If you'll turn to Proverbs, the subject of matter today is that it's your time. It's your time. You may have a lot going on and may not have seen a lot of things accomplished that you want accomplished. You may even seem like everything's fading away or about to fade away or has faded away. But I come to tell you today that it's your time. You're in the midst of a place and in an opportune time for things to happen, for the miraculous to happen. See, that's when the miraculous is so great and so apt to happen, is when you don't expect it. He's waiting to manifest himself. He's waiting to show himself strong. On whose behalf? Somebody said mine. He's waiting to be the wheel in the middle of the wheel, to show you how the wheel is supposed to work. That's why he had to be the wheel in the middle of the wheel. He's waiting to do the supernatural that you call supernatural, that he calls natural, because you never believed that he could do it through you. So it became supernatural. Why not can the supernatural become natural? Why can't it be just a natural thing to do? Why it always got to be a supernatural move of God rather than just become a common move of God? See, when you believe that the supernatural goes away, it just becomes common. You hear what I'm saying? I need you to get to where every day of life is just common to you. What you used to call a miracle is a common way of living now. See, that's when the power, you understand that the power of God, that God is where? In you. And that you're in God. And that whatever you say, you're not only careful of what you say, you choose what you say, and you understand why you choose what you say, rather than just saying anything, because the life and death is in the power of whose tongue? It's in my tongue. Yeah, life and death is in the power of my tongue, because when I choose to speak, I'm speaking today. I'm telling you, it's your time. It's your time. Proverbs chapter 22. Proverbs chapter 22. I'll read from Proverbs 22, starting at verse 22. Rob not the poor, because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil their soul, the soul of those that spoil them. He says, don't rob the poor just because they're poor. He says, even them that are coming for help, he says, don't take advantage of them. He said, because it's going to come a time that God's going to plead their case. And the one that spoiled them that were poor, and because you could, he says, I'm going to now turn and spoil your soul. In other words, I'm not going to kill you. He says, but your mind won't never be the same. It won't ever be balanced again. So you got some folks that's about to go crazy, and I'm declaring it right now. Them folks that have wronged you just because you didn't have enough, you're about to see change in their entire life. You're about to see change in their entire way they do stuff. You're about to see some of them lose their own minds. They say God's going to kill them. But when they lose their minds, some of them kill themselves. Some of them go distraught and go to walk away. Am I saying this is what I want to happen? No, I'm saying that I'm standing on what the word is said in Proverbs. He says, do not rob the poor just because they're poor. Do not block them from entering into a place or block them from moving out of poverty into another place where they can feel better or serve their families. He said, because it's going to come a time that I'm going to stand up for them. And he says, I will plead their cause and spoil the soul of them that spoil them. See, just because your family has been seeming like on the outskirts, on the outcasts of everything, don't cast them away. Just because you've been a woman and you felt that just because you're a woman you wasn't received, and they put a stigma that women could not lead. I said, don't lose your sight of vision of leading. I'm telling you, don't lose your sight because you've been ostracized, because you didn't come from this family over here. You came from the Johnson family or the Moore family, but yet the Tucker family seemed like they're standing tall. He says, don't despise how I brought you into the world. Don't despise the family that I brought you through, or the loins that I brought you through, or the position in where you are right now. He says, because when you stand, he says, I'm already standing. You're going to reach the heights that I've already created for you. Tell you a story about a young man that was in Congo in one of the poorest villages there. And the young man would go out and get scraps as a little boy and dig in and bring the roots back till mom could boil them to get vitamins and nutrients out of them because they were so malnutrition. The young man would take roadkill and animals that are about to decay, and they would boil it until they tried to boil the sickness out of it and still try to eat it because they needed to survive. One day this young man began to got a point to where his family could send him away. They saved money enough and saved and felt that he was the one that could benefit from this more so than anybody. And his family sent him away to a college and ended up in a college in med school in Georgetown, here in the United States of America. Well, his second year there, he was in med school, and the basketball coach seen him. By this time, this young boy had become a teenager, and he'd grown to 7 feet 2 inches tall. Not only did this young man go on to play in the NBA and get drafted in the first round, but he became one of the leading shot blockers in the NBA. Not only did this young man go on to be playing in the NBA several years and sign multi-million-dollar contracts, but he went back to his country. He went back to that poor village that he was raised in. And he and other NBA players built a $30 million facility, hospital, where over millions of people were served and had health care. This young man was named Matembe Mutombo. He was the one that when he would block, he would do this. No, 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 no. Matembe Mutombo. He came from a place where we would call third world, poverty-stricken, no hope. But yet the gift for him to change the nation in which he came from was in him. Somebody says, it's my time. I don't care where you're at. God's calling you forth because it's the gift that's in you that you were created for. Not the position that you're in, but it's the gift that will bring you to the place and the platform where God has already paved the way for. It's your time. He says, in the 24th verse, he says, Make no friends with with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways. People that are always angry and complaining, he says, watch them. He says, because you can become a complainer too. But your gift, you understand, you got to protect the gift. Even if nobody else understands that you got your vision. Your vision ain't for you, for them to understand. It's for you to hold and embrace and build on and never give up, because your vision is your access to God. It's God's access to you, because you were created with a purpose, and in your gift is your purpose. And some of us so disconnected from ourselves that our gifts lies dormant within inside of us until somebody comes along and speaks into your life, that it stirs up the gift that's in you. That's why he says, lay hands on them, that you stir up the gift that's within them, and pray over them and speak it to them. He says, now, for the Lord will please, he says, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. Be thou not one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. He says, in other words, don't put your house up for a get-rich-quick scheme. He said, because you're going to end up in debt. He says, in this avenue of life, if thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee? Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set thee. He said, there's some boundaries that your ancestors and your grandparents have told you not to cross. He says, don't remove them. See, don't remove them. See, he knew that Jesus was going to come down through 42 generations, through Jesse, through all of those loins. He knew that he was coming. See, it's the time that God knew that you were coming through these generations. He knew that you were coming through the Moors. He knew that you were coming through the 1619 slave trade. He knew that you were coming and that you would get here at this time. He knew what time to release the gift into the earth when he sent you. He knew what time it needed. He knew that we will be in a time such as this where they're trying to turn back civil rights and place you back in slavery because of the color of your skin. He knew there will be people that will hate and use him as a forte, but never walk with him in spirit and in truth. He knew that Christianity in America would be nothing more than a smokescreen while they're using it to rob you of the power and the strength of God. But God never leaves his porch or his place just because you being fake. He knew. See, it's time for people that understand the truth to really stand up. That see what this thing is really about, to really stand up and spare not and cry loud. Not walking in fear of what may happen to you from the man or from the woman or from the organization. Not worried about how you may lose your job, but that God, your job is secured in God. Because I'm about to tell you something. He's made a way for you if you'll just let that fear go. He's already prepared a place for you in the presence of your enemy if you'll just walk away from that fear and stand for what you know is true. Stop trying to protect yourself, but stand for what is right. Stop trying to secure yourself when God's already secured you. Some of us are securing ourselves in a world that cares nothing about us, where there is no security without the gift of God working in you and through you. There is no security. And this verse here says, it states it. He says, seest thou a man diligent in his business, a man that knows his gift, a man that operates in his gift, a man that understands his gift. He didn't say if a man that you understand his business. He said if the man knows his business. He said, if you know your business. Watch what he says. He said, if you know your business, a man that diligently knows his business, a woman that diligently knows their goal. A son or a child or a woman or a boy or a girl that diligently knows where they're supposed to be and where they will end up. He said, he shall stand before who? Kings. Why is he going to stand before kings? Is it because he's a male or a female? No, it's because of the gift of God that's with him without repentance. It's the gift of God that's making room for him or her to cause them into a place to protect their family. He's looking for a Ruth. He's looking for a Ruth, y'all. He's looking for them teenage boys, Shadrach, I beg to go. He's looking for them teenage boys, looking for them youth, that regardless of how the world looks around you, that says, regardless of what everybody else is doing, regardless of whether you laugh at me or cast me away, I know in my heart and in my spirit what I'm supposed to be doing. Even if it ain't what you approve of, it's what God's already approved of in me that I've accepted as the place where I'm supposed to be. He's looking for Shadrach. He's looking for them young fellas. He's looking for somebody that has the idea of Ruth that says, even if you kill me, even if you say I'm out of place, I know right now that my people's life is on the line and it's in my hand, that if I do what I do and go before the king, even if I don't go before the king in rituals like they say I'm supposed to go, he says, as long as I go and stand in the midst of the king, I'll save my people, because the king has sent out a decree that all the people, the Jews, were supposed to be killed at a certain time. But here it is, it's up on her that she had the power to save her own folk. And she understands this, whether she went or not, God was able to raise up somebody else in the last minute to save them. I want you to understand that whether you do what you do or not, God will still raise up somebody, because he has a place and a personal time to where to do this thing and how he want it done, and he want it done at this time. So if you don't, if you operate in fear, he'll move you out and let you die in your fear and move somebody else in. I'd rather stand in the eyes of God than to stand in the fear of rejection. I'd rather stand because it's my time. I want you to know it's your time. You may not feel that it's your time because you're looking for certain things to be in place. The only thing that needs to be in place is you. Because there's going to be so many things out of place while he's challenging you to move into place to bring this thing down like the road like it's supposed to come. See, right now it seems like you got out of gas, so how I'm supposed to get there? Maybe he's going to bring somebody else along to pull you there. Or maybe he's going to bring the thing closer to you that you can now run there. But however, if you're supposed to be there, if you'll get on the road, I promise you, you'll get there. It's my time. It's just your time, he says. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. I'm not talking about just young people that's walking in fear or walking and think they know more. He said there's some boundaries that you should never move. There's some boundaries that's been set, that your elders set. I've always told my son and my daughter, there's one thing I live by. You got to set some boundaries and perimeters for you and your family. Some things just ain't going to happen in our home. That's just some things they can't do. There's some boundaries that I set in our home that ain't going to ever be moved. I have grown man and a grown daughter and a teenage son. But them showing their aggression in front of us is never accepted. It's never accepted. Respect is always, if you got a problem, that problem better cease by the time you see your mother and father walk up. You're going to respect us. You may still be angry with your sibling, but you will not be arguing and fighting in front of us, verbally or physically, when we show up. It's a respect that you have for us as parents that will carry you throughout ages of time, and that you'll set a precedent in your own life and in your own spirit that the devil in you can't rise up and overthrow you, your goodness of your Lord in your life. You hear what I say? I ain't tell the devil like that. I said the devil in you can't rise up. Because if God has it right there, show so this evil. If good has a home there, show so this evil is right at the door. Don't forget it. We're standing here because of the gifts that many men and women have rose upon. We're walking in to grace on somebody else's gift. Now it's your time to express your gift that somebody later going to walk in upon your gift. I encourage you that in this hour, I encourage you to rise up. I'm calling for those that have the gift of prophecy, those that have the gift of loving, those that have the gift of forgiveness, those that have the gift of wisdom and understanding, those that have the gift of every skill that needed to build a community. God's challenged you to come forth now. Because there is no community without unity, and every gift needs to be in operation. that for their community to thrive at the highest level in which God has created to be, everybody needs to be functioning in their rightful place. Some of us are making excuses because I don't have the right education. I hadn't been fulfilled. My daddy didn't speak to me. My mama didn't speak to me. To the devil with that. If mama or daddy didn't speak to you, you have a mama and a daddy in the Spirit of God that lives within you. And they will teach you and guide you down the road of life. You hear what I'm saying? Let's remove the excuses. Let's stop the abuse. Let's stop the physical, mental, and spiritual abuse that we're doing to each other and ourselves. Samson, if you read the story of Samson, whether it's an allegory, whether it's actually true, the one thing about Samson, he had a strength and a spirit would come upon him that he could slay thousands in the story. He could defend a nation of people. He could slay thousands with his hands. Was it with his hands or was it by the spirit of the God that was in him? Was it by the gift that was upon him and knowing how to fight and knowing how to maneuver and having the courage to stand before thousands, but yet say that I and my God will slay them? We need a Samson in this hour. We need a David that's going to stand back while everybody else is afraid. And it looks like this is the largest thing, that we cannot overcome this nuclear war. We cannot overcome hunger and strife and hate. We cannot overcome it. It's gone too large. We need somebody with David that's going to stand back and look at this Goliath that we've been facing for so long. It's going to use a little young boy that's going to use his slingshot because he's already practiced overcoming hate. He's already practiced overcoming racism. He's already practiced overcoming spiritual dissonance. He's already practiced this thing about Christianity where they've told so many lies about it that now nobody knows who's the real God. That the God looks white, looks black, looks red, looks yellow. Nobody knows who's the real God. They're understanding that somebody come to understand that the God that I'm looking for ain't in you, is always in me. Great is he that's in you than he that's in the world. The religion that you hold so dear to is a worldly relic that separates you from God, that establishes you, makes you think you're better than the human beings that God created that don't think like you. But yet God thought enough of them to create them, so therefore God has enough power to be with them. Whether you understand it or not, he's still God over there in China. He's still God over in Africa. He's still God here in America. He's still God in Brazil. Regardless of who's leading, he's still God. He's still God. It's your time. We need the gifts to stand up because in this hour, it's the gift that's going to carry you to that restful place, to that peaceful place. It's the gift that you have that you're avoiding. You're trying now to take other things on that actually take you away from your gift. And many of us sit back lazy and waiting for something to happen and don't know which direction we're going. We're now caught up in the computer, caught up in the games, caught up in social media. We're caught up in making money rather than actually making right relationships that bring the money. Proverbs 18. I'm getting ready to close. Proverbs 18, verse 16. Proverbs 18, verse 16. The word reads like this. It says, a man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. As I told you, Ruth, she came before Boaz. As I told you, if you look at Gideon, he was the least of the least tribe, but he came and saved his nation. As I told you, Samson, it was his gift. God told Gideon, he says, by your own might. He told Gideon, who's the least of the least tribe, and he's the least in the least of the least tribe. He's the least in his family, who's the poorest tribe in the poorest nation of people. So he's at the bottom of the barrel, but God told him, he says, not by power, he said, by your own might. He said, I'll be with you. He said, but it's going to be by whose might? Somebody say it's my time. It's going to be by your own might. God's giving you a gift. It seemed to have been drowned out by your hurt, by your rejection, by your education. It seemed to be, everything seemed to camouflage your gift. It's caused you not to see your own gift, your own goodness, your own authority, your own power. Know thyself. He says, neither has entered into, a man hadn't seen it, neither has entered into his heart or his mind the thing that God would do for them or express through them. You get me? Or express through you. Because I don't think God's going to do no more for us than he's already done. I think he's waiting for us to take the things that he's given us and place it inside of us and work them, that the miracle that we look for be manifested through us. You're waiting for him to do something. You're asking him to do something and nothing's happening because you've been praying for too long and nothing happens. I'm saying to you now, reason it hasn't happened because this ain't a praying time. It's a working time. It's actually reconciling to your own self. Know thyself. You're not here by mistake. You're not here because you black or white. You're not here because you Indian or African. You let people tell you that place you in those places and hinder you. I don't speak because I'm a black man. I don't speak because I'm a man. I speak because I am the vessel and oracle of God for this time and in this season. It's your time. I'm here because it's my time. Not because I'm so handsome. Not because I got billions of dollars. Not because if you're poor. I'm here because it's my time. It's my time. It's your time. You're here because it's your time. And I just happen to be a man with this color. I happen to be a man that has been through the things that I've gone through. But it's my time. I don't care where you're at or what you're going through. It's your time. It's your gift that God's calling forth. He's challenging you to reject the status quo of the world. To reject the nuances of religion. To reject the nuances of color and creed. To reject the nuances of world war and fear and operate in a holy place that you're always protected and that what you say will come to pass quicker than you can say it. There's some folks coming out of their stuff right now. There's some folks standing up right now just because I challenge them and called them out. Because they're waiting to hear the clarion call of God. That's a clarion call to many people that's hearing me right now on social media that I've never saw. But yet they're going to move out and they're going to move into place and it's going to change the whole landscape. And you that are here with me, you're going to move out. You're going to do great and great wonders. And you're going to look at yourself and be amazed. And I'm telling you right now, don't stand on the amazement ground too long. Keep moving, that you can keep doing things where they're not amazing no more. They just become common. You're going to be amazed about the gift, but don't stay in that zone of amazement too long. Just keep moving because there's more to come. There's more behind that because you've chosen to move and the gift is waiting to manifest itself. And you've been hindering it. You've been the gate between your life and the life of others and the coming of the Lord in this hour. And when I'm talking about the coming of the Lord, I'm talking about your gift being manifested. I'm not talking about the world ending. I'm talking about the coming of the Lord. You have the keys to life. You hold the keys by your actions with your gift. The people that have freed millions, that have set nations on fire, that have halted the massacre of many nations of people just by using their gift, their one gift. And I'm telling you now, it's your time. Speak to Trump. Speak to the administration. I call you to a place of prominence in God and not in the world, in the darkness of your own heart. I challenge you and I call you forth, and I demand that you do the will of God for the earth, not for the will of God for your greed. I call you to denounce your own greed and your own darkness of your own life. And I say denounce it now. It's broken. It's broken. I decreed it and it says so. Now you decree a thing in your life and watch it come to pass. Father, I thank you for everybody that's heard me this morning. I thank you for the nations that we speak to. I thank you for the nations that will flow from us because of the life that you've given us to establish the truthness of the eternal God to all of us. God, none of us have ever seen you other than seeing ourselves. And therefore, that's been the God that we've seen. But God, we perverted that God and called and did evil things with the power that you've given us. God, for those families and millions of billions of people, God, that have been affected. And generation and things that have been said and portals that have been opened, God, that's continued to release evil and atrocities upon people that's never deserving of it. And opposite of the will of you. God, I stand now in the midst of it and cause every portal to close right now, even in the midst of those that are preaching what they call the gospel, that are preaching the untruth, and that are causing nations to now to be perished because of the word of their own mouth. I challenge it now and I come against it and I speak to the spirit that's controlled them now. Cease and desist now. In the name of the Savior. In the name of the Almighty. Thank you. Even now in this city, in this area which I live in right now, and which I abode in, I challenge the power that be right now as they work to continue to throw people out of their homes and to move people out of certain areas so they can raise up what they call wealth. I challenge them now and I come against it. In the evilness of their heart, I speak to their hearts right now. Stand up and be accounted for the righteousness of the good of God rather than the evil of your own life that you have the power to do. Even those that are being discriminated against in job movements and job placements. Right now, places where there's food shortages, for those that have the power to change it, I challenge them now, God, and I speak to them, even in the very auspices of their bed, and the places where they eat, and the places where they live. I release a spirit now, and an angel, God, that wars against them right now, and that challenges them and brings them into obedience of the Spirit of the living God, of the truth of love and compassion and empathy for everyone. I do it now. Amen and amen. For the houses that are about suffering now, and for those who are feeling about to lose your mind, you're not losing your mind. It's time for you to stand up and say, here I am. Let's do this thing. And watch how your mind begins to balance. Watch how your spirit begins to stand up now inside of you. Because you've been the gatekeeper that's been holding yourself back. You've taken too many ideas from other folks. Now you're going to hear it from the Spirit or from the God that's within you. You're going to follow the power of the God that's within you, the truth of the God that's within you. And it's going to take you through the desert, but it's going to bring you out in an oasis full of nothing but love, happiness, peace, joy, and that long suffering that you've gone through. You're about to be rewarded right now. You're about to be rewarded right now. Things are about to open up for you right now. As I speak, they're opening up for you right now in your mind and in your soul, in your very home, in your very job that you had, in the very house that you just left from. You're not going to regret going back there. You're going to go back there with a vision, a clear vision, and you're going to change the very existence of your home and where you abode. And even the way you sleep, even how you relate to the people that are in your home and how they relate to you has already changed. The spell's been broken. In the name of Jesus. In the name of the authority of the one that holds all of us together, that holds the entire universe together. In the name of them. And the spirit and the vibrations of the love that he's released into this earth. I challenge your minds right now. It's your job to accept it. It's your job to walk in it. It's your job to renew it. It's your job to grasp it and hold on to it. It's your job to take it and make it yours because it is yours. It's the gifts and callings of God that's without repentance. It's your time. Your gift is needed. For those of you that would like to give to this ministry and what we do, those of you that believe in what we do here at Life Coaching and Empowerment Center, for those of you that have been reached and touched for the last 10 years, we're asking that you make a special donation to assist us. What is going to help? It's going to help us to continue to not only do the work that we do, but we've come into a place where people have begun now to not send or not give as much as they used to. And it's put us in a financial, not a burden, but it put us back financially. So I'm asking you now that as my wife and I, the rest of my family, and the ones that are here continue to give, I'm asking that you think about what you do. How can you help us financially? You've been praying for us. You've been standing with us. If we've done something here at this location that's helped you, then now we ask that you would extend your favor if you have the finances. Life Culture is the Cash App. LIFECULTURE. All one word. LIFECULTURE. Life Culture is the word. I thank you so much for your donation. I thank you for your kind and generous offering. Understand this here. We receive not one penny for our own personal use. All of it goes back into the ministry here. our Showers of Love, which we open up every Saturday morning. We've been doing it for 9 years now. Open up every Saturday morning. Maybe a few mornings we missed when we take a day off and let our volunteers just take a day off, because this thing has been 9 years around the clock. And every Sunday now we've been feeding now. And so we actually open up and feed here at this location every Sunday afternoon to those that are in need, or those that just want to come by, to the homeless, whoever. They come by and they get fed the same food that we would eat here. So your donation kindly helps continue the love and empathy and sympathy that God said. It's your gift that's made room for you. Now allow your gift to continue to speak to others. We thank you so much. If you want to give again, Life Culture is one word. That's our Cash App. LIFECULTURE. Our location here is 630 A&D Center. 630 A&D Center, Tupelo, Mississippi. We thank you so much. And always, Godspeed. And always, God has already blessed you. Thank you so much.